Today I have something very interesting for you and something even I haven't seen. So we have a whole bunch of secret items that have been revealed for the Bazaar. They have not come through the official channel, although they are very much official items, we believe. This is all pretty much thanks to Swampsy, one of the Discord members. If you haven't joined our Discord, by the way, you should join that. Links are below. They did a load of digging and internet sleuthing. And this is basically the closest thing we're going to get to data mining before we actually have access to the game and are able to do that sort of thing. So, without further ado, this is going to be my first impression as well, by the way. That's why if there were some sort of like pictures in the thumbnail or the title told you how many new items we saw, that's all because I did that afterwards. As of right now, recording this video, I have no idea what I'm about to look at. I had a quick glance as Swampsy sent it to us, but I wanted to save my reaction for you guys. So, without further ado, let's jump into the secret items of the Bazaar, whatever that might be. This is an Artstation page, as you can see. This is from the animation artist, Anatoly Kos. They have been doing parallax effects for the Bazaar game, and they have shared a bunch of them on here. So, what I have seen, as I quickly glanced down when I was first shown this, is a bunch of different card arts with animation effects on them. So this is an animator who has shared their animation work, but some of the card arts we've never seen before. So we're going to have a look and see what we can find, what is hidden within this this Artstation page. I'll put a link to it below if I remember as well, if you guys want to go and check it out yourselves. But without further ado, what is the first set of cards? Okay, so first things first, we've seen two of these. So, and they're going to be moving around on screen. That's what the effect is. Oh, there's a left and right button as well, so we can tab through some. Great. So the far left one is the Venomous Fangs or something. I think we saw this on Mac. It's colored now, which is nice to see. But yeah, we saw this on Mac. I believe it was giving his cards poison, funnily enough. The next one is some sort of rice dish, maybe curry. It's really hard for me to tell because I'm colorblind. But that is a Jules card that we have seen already. We've seen the card art for, we've seen in game, so no need to figure that one out. Then we have what I can only assume it is a Mac item. It is like a genie's lamp type thing, set on a couple of pillows. It's going to be called Magic Lamp, surely, or some sort of effect to that, like a genie's lamp, or I don't know. But yeah, this has got to be a Mac thing, right? Mac's the only one who visually fits this. Maybe Pygmalion. But I'm certain this is a Mac card. Especially, I can't really tell with the colours, but I think the cushions are sort of Mac coloured. So that's where I'm leaning on that one. As for what it can do, and this is going to be the fun, central, core part of this video, is what do these do? We don't really know all that much about Mac at the moment, so this is going to be a tricky one to guess. But genies do wishes. Genies are magic. There's some sort of rubbing of the lamp. So is it when the lamp is attacked, it does something magical? Whatever Mac's sort of core mechanic is, does it enhance that? I could see it doing advance as well. Advance is sort of like the almost like cooldown skipping of items to sort of make them move fast. I could see it sort of the genie's wish being to advance things. Could also be making money. Who doesn't wish for wealth when they rub a genie's lamp? Anyway, next up we have a pair of, they look like binoculars, although it could just be two telescopes next to one another, two spyglasses. This is Stel. It's got Stel written all over it, right? You can see like the blueprints of something underneath it. It's very sort of techy, almost not quite cyberpunk. It's that sort of like polished cyberpunk look that Stel has. Yeah, it is almost definitely a Stel card. What is it going to do though? Well, binoculars are for looking at things far away, so maybe it reduces a long cooldown. I know they've been playing a lot with that sort of mechanic at the moment. But Stel is, of course, an altitude thing as well, right? So maybe, because it's good at seeing things far away, when something, or when Stel hits max altitude, maybe it triggers and does something. I could definitely see that. Maybe it could be shielding, speed even, something to that effect. But yeah, I can definitely see this being involved with maximum altitude. Even though you are at minimum, something is a maximum. Rolling down further, we have Stel's Wrench. We have seen that already. Then we have I can only assume like a Stell's Stanley knife, but it's on like a gun holder thing. Really? A Stanley knife with a like foregrip? I never thought I would need a Stanley knife with a foregrip, but maybe you do. I guess you can get some extra pressure down on it. Either way, it's got to be a Stell item, right? Look at the colors around the handle. I can see that they basically match the one next to it. So it's some sort of cutting item. They very clearly set it in like a warehouse, so you can see they've been using it to like slice open boxes and stuff. So I could see this item, and this is something they've done a few times. I could see this item transforming into another item. There are very few instances of this happening, but I could see you having this sort of unpacking blade or whatever it might be called. And then when used, it transforms into another small item or something. It'll just be like a really early common item. Maybe it's got some decent stats, probably quite cheap. You just pick it up and it transforms into something. That would be kind of cool and fitting of like what I've seen everywhere else. Moving on, we have the Orobius loop or something. I think we've seen the name of this card and the art before. It looks Mac-ish. It's very sort of alchemical. You can see another little vial tucked away in the back there. It's like a little infinity sign, so it's got to be doing something like repetitive. Yeah, so repetitive that I added an extra tut in there. No, there's got to be like speed or something, right? It's got to keep things going. It could be speed, it could be advanced. Those two things, quite common, I think. Could it be something more interesting? Maybe. I know they've removed a lot of this, but it could use the item to the left or right twice, maybe. We had a lot of that earlier on. It's kind of been nerfed down a bit, so it would be cool to see that with Mac, if they're able to sort of like control it and make sure it doesn't do anything too crazy. But yeah, that is the Arboreus loop or Orobius loop. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Next up, we have a beautiful black rose, I think. I would lean into it being a Mac thing. It looks like an ingredient. The color palette of it does not scream jewels to me. And then the item itself doesn't really scream Pygmalion, Vanessa, Dooley, or Stell. So I'm kind of left with Mac on this one. So another Mac item, I would immediately lean to like poison, right? That's sort of the ingredient type thing I'm thinking. But it's not really prominently showing its thorns. So I would instead consider that. I mean, what Mac is a huge enigma to us right now. We don't know what Mac is going to be showing us, but I could actually see this being a Mac archetype called Ingredient, which is important because Jules also has an archetype called Ingredient. I think it'd be really cool to see. I think we've seen it already with Vehicle, maybe? That Stell and Vanessa both have vehicles? I think. Don't quote me on that. It's early, but I've definitely seen multiple of these archetypes used on different classes. So yeah, I would love for Mac to have ingredients. Therefore, if you're a Mac and you see a Jules shop, you can go to Jules and buy an ingredient, and vice versa. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I could see this being an ingredient, and then I don't know what the Mac unique mechanic is around ingredients. With Jules, they are very much buffing items, so maybe they're the same here. Maybe this rose sort of advances the item next to it, or whenever the item next to it is used, grants regen or something. Something to that effect. Moving down, we see some bigger items. We see this item to the right. I forget what it's called, but it was the set, because it just had a big name. It was the core piece of Reynad's Stell build. This thing absolutely went off. If you want to see more about this, then check the video I'll link at the end. I'll link you through to the sort of gameplay overview that we did. And then this item on the left is a new item. It looks Stell-like. The colours kind of look Dooley. Not going to lie, it looks more orange to me than yellow. I could be wrong. But there are balloons up in the sky. It's very high. That, to me, leans towards Stell. It could be Dooley, but it's probably Stell. And it looks like some sort of monorail, like, district type thing. If I had to think, maybe I've just been playing too much Lost Ark that have monorails. But yeah, I could see it being some sort of like monorail transfer link. Maybe it's just called like transfer link. In which case, this would be bringing together some buildings of some sort. Yeah, maybe it like links to, or maybe they are landing ports. So maybe it links to vehicles. So if it's got a vehicle either side of it, it does something cool. I would love to see something like that. Something really positionally important. That would be really cool. Especially if this is a later on item. I would love to see this as a later item. Maybe a bit more money. Once you've got a decent sized build, so that you're not stuck with the problem of like buying this day one and then having to find vehicles either side of it. I would much prefer to have vehicles and then have to try and sell something to slot this in between them to make them that much more effective. And then this section, we have seen all of this card up before, but we have seen maybe one of the effects. The little flying guy on the left, we saw him from Gweg, one of his Tuesday item reveals. If you haven't joined the official Bazaar Discord, you should do that. Link is also below. That's where every Tuesday, so far, there might be changes to that coming up, but so far so good. Every Tuesday, Gweg has been sharing some Bazaar items with us, so go and check that out if you haven't. And all of those are found in the Bazaar item library, links to which you find in my Discord. Now, the middle one is a Jules card. We have seen this, and we do know what it does. All off the top of my head, I don't. And then we have this crane arm, which I don't think we know what it does. I will double check, though. So, as I had thought, we hadn't got to see that claw. But here is Balloon Tower, by the way. Gains 8 altitude, and when you gain altitude, you deal damage equal to your altitude. So that's what Reynard was doing to destroy things. The Battle Drone is the name of that little flying friend. 15 damage, and when you take off, if this item's cooldown is greater than 3 seconds, reduce it by a second. Binoculars, we also saw earlier. 9 seconds advance the right tool or gear by 2 seconds. I did say it might be an advanced thing. There it is. But the new friend isn't in there. So, back over here we are. What does this claw do? This definitely lifts something up, right? That's what I'm thinking. I feel like this increases altitude. Maybe it increases altitude every time the item to the left of it is triggered. Maybe every time it triggers, it increases altitude and does something to the left item. Maybe empowers it, gives you strength for the left item. Maybe advances the left item. Advance is a great fun new thing of theirs. So yeah, that is the sort of grappling claw thing. Onto a largely Jules page, we've seen the tea siphon, and we've seen, I think this was fruit juice before. But this laser, this like drill, oh, it's not a laser, it's a drill. Of course it's not. This dually item we haven't seen before. So yeah, this is some sort of like guided drill, or maybe it's just going to be called drill or drill arm or something. This is penetrating, to say the least. Yeah, this is going to be digging in. This is going to be doing damage, right? This is a damage item. I feel like if there's a single damage item we've seen yet today, this is a damage item. We have seen the igniters for the balloon. They do burning damage. But this little friend, I don't think we have seen. I think he's brand new. Again, I'm not overly familiar with all of the items we saw before. We're still going through a lot of those. But I'm pretty sure he's a new little friend. You see the very same balloon in the background. We see this balloon in some other art as well. So it's cool to see that sort of continuation. And this little buddy, maybe this little friend, is with her. I don't know how sentient he looks. He could be a piece of gear rather than... No, because gear's worn. Definitely not a gear. He could be a vehicle, though. I'm thinking vehicle or friend for archetype with this guy. And he looks like some sort of scouting drone, if I had to guess. Although he does have these sort of like speaker ear things. They could be announcers, so maybe he's like an announcer bot. Either way, if he is spying out, we just saw that the spy glasses were advancing, so he could be advancing as well. Although something to do with altitude, because he's flying. Would have to be my guess. Now we are unfortunately at the end. Oh, I was trying to scroll down more. All right, but these look damn cool. Holy, there's some color going on here. So we've got this like icicle spray thing. We've got this beautiful lantern in the middle. And then a very robotic arm holding a laser pistol. We'll get to that at the end. We'll go through in order. So first things first, we have this sort of icy or icicle covered spray type thing. It has a gear on it, and it has these like painted lines on the floor, which I can only imagine is a dually item, right? It's got ice all over it, so it's got to be some sort of like... It's either something that needs to be kept exceptionally cool, or maybe it's like liquid nitrogen or something, right? I imagine with it being so cold and looking like that, it's going to be doing some sort of freezing. It's a small item. It's going to be triggered probably by itself. I don't see it triggering off something else. But it's definitely going to be used to aid an ally, right? A friend. So maybe this freezes the enemy, but also advances a friend to the right, or something like that. If I had to guess. A bit of WD-40 on one of Dooley's friends. Then we have this beautiful lantern in the middle. Who is this for? It's got butterflies on it, so I'm leaning towards Stell. However, the color palette makes me think Vanessa. So I could be anywhere in between there, to be honest. It's got a little like Bazaar coiny cog thing at the bottom as well. So the cog maybe makes me lean towards Stell again. If it was Vanessa, it would just be like a coin. So yeah, let's call it a Stell item. These lanterns do tend to float, so that would also link it to Stell and being an altitude thing. So yeah, but it's fire, so this is going to be doing burning damage. You would have to imagine this is giving Stell a bit of access to burn on top of the burners that we saw before. So yeah, I would like to see this. I'm not sure how it would trigger or what it would trigger, but it's definitely burn related. And then we then we get to go on to our laser pistol. My god. So this is a weapon, you would have to imagine, being used by a friend. So I would say this is either triggered by a friend, buffs a friend, or triggers when a friend triggers, or it triggers a friend. Whole bunch of things. I feel like there's going to be that close-knit relationship between the two. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. It's going to be doing damage. Maybe it's going to be burning, if they consider lasers burning in this world. But yeah, this is going to be a damage item tied closely to one of Dooley's friends, I would imagine. And then we kind of have it. That's sort of all of the new secret items of the Bazaar. There are some really, really cool ones in there. Let me know actually down below what your favorite ones were. The laser pistol is definitely up there for me. Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult to beat that. I had some really cool ideas for some of the others, but the laser pistol, lore-wise, that just speaks volumes. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you want to check out more of what's coming up with the Bazaar, then we did a massive video covering all of the gameplay, touching on a number of the new items and a whole bunch of other stuff in this video over here. So definitely go check that out and keep an eye on the channel for more videos like new items and stuff coming soon.